What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Camilo from Trading Waves, and I hope you guys are well. So rather than reviewing the SPY and the triple Qs, because not much changed from our video yesterday, we're still expecting further consolidation to the downside, trade sideways into next week. And it's playing out as expected. So I reviewed those wave structures yesterday. So if you missed that video, I encourage you to go watch it after this one, as it'll explain what we're looking for coming into next week. I'll probably do a video over the weekend, just kind of outlining and doing a brief recap of today. But I wanted to do Bitcoin. I wanted to share with you guys my thoughts on this chart, because I do feel that there is a potential opportunity that this name is going to start hitting all-time highs relatively soon, based on the wave structure that I've been looking at and based on things that I've been reading online and doing my own research. So before we dive into the analysis, guys, consider subscribing to the channel and give this video a thumbs up, as it'll help the channel grow. Thank you so much. Now, I want to review, guys, a triangle, the flat pattern, and lastly these two, the bear zigzag, and a pretty ambitious wave structure that I've developed. But I'm going to review with you that later. Okay. However, these two counts, the triangle version of and the expanded flat, they're all implying the same thing at the end of the day, that we are going to see for the upside. The difference is, one is foreseeing that potentially is going to come, it's going to hold the levels that we are at right now, maybe slightly lower, and the expanded flat is just letting us know that we may see for the price action to the downside, potentially breaking the lows here on January the 24th and trying to retest August the 23rd of 21 bottom over here. Okay, so let's dive into the analysis. Let's turn on our triangle version and let's just review the weekly time frame, and then we're going to dive down to the different time frames to just confirm these wave structures. So as you guys very well know, this has been the wave 1 confirmed in this count. We then sold off into the wave 2 at 38.2% retracement to the $3,000 region. Then we got the wave 1, ABC to the 2, 3, and now we're in consolidation of the wave 4. If this is the confirmed count, if this is the count that we're going to work with, then we do anticipate that Bitcoin will start breaking out relatively soon to the upside, and those targets are going to potentially be anywhere between the zone. Okay, what is the zone? The zone is about north of 300k, right? I mean, I don't want to call these numbers, these are outrageous, and people are going to be calling me dumb here in the channel, but hey, respect it, because this is what the fib levels and projections are calling out for. But we got to take it a day at a time. Okay, trade at your own risk. This is not definitive, this is not saying, and this is not written in stone. Anything can happen. Any geopolitical events, things that have been occurring could escalate, who knows, that will deviate and throw a stone into this structure here. So do trade carefully. Okay, anyway, so if we start breaking out of this triangle, okay, into the wave 5 of 3, okay, we do expect after this whole structure is complete that we are going to be in the prolonged bearish scenario in Bitcoin. Okay, but for now we're going to dive down into this area here. Okay, and we're going to focus the wave structure between this consolidation. All right, so for that, let me take you to the daily time frame, and let me reset this, and let's take a quick, actually let's go down to the 1 hour time frame where I have this labels, the labels are on, but let me turn them on because it is harder to look at them here. So visibility to the days, and this is going to go to days. Okay, so go back up, and here we go. So post our all-time highs in April, right? We're reviewing this in a couple of different ways, but in this scenario, this triangle scenario, we have 5 waves down to A, sorry, 3 waves down to A, 3 waves up to B. All right, you can clearly see them here. So 1, 2, and 3, whichever way you look at them, okay, however much comfortable you feel, they're all implying the same thing. Okay, 3 waves to the A, 3 waves to the B, 3 waves to the C, and now we're looking at 3 waves to the D. All right, now we have this trend line resistance that you can clearly see is holding it down. So if this is the case, guys, then we are likely to expect price action to do 3 waves down to the E. Now, invalidation of this wave structure, okay, invalidation of this wave structure comes in where, guys? I'm gonna tell you that right now. at the break of the wave A, at which point the expanded flat version will be confirmed. Okay, so if our first trigger and our first red flag is if price action starts breaking below the wave C. Okay, if coming in the next week or two we see price action fall below the wave C, okay, somewhere around the $35 to the $32 region, $32,000 region, then it is likely that in the short term Bitcoin is going to see price action to the downside. Okay, but I'm not sure that's the case. I think because we've been hovering around the 23.6%, which is this yellow line here in the wave 4, and the way we've been trading sideways and developing 3 wave patterns in this triangle, that it is likely that this is the case. Okay, I'm not going to put my hand in the fire for it, but my hunch and my sort of instinct at first is that this is going to be the case. I put my money where my mouth is. Okay, so I do have positions on Bitcoin, and I am anticipating further price action to the upside. Okay, now let's take a look at the expanded flat version of this. And this one, I am not too confident in it, guys. I'll tell you why. So, expanded flats, okay, you guys already know what an expanded flat will look like, okay? And I'm going to show you guys here real quick. An expanded flat will be one of two things, right? We will either do this, right? Actually, let me do this again. An expanded flat, the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave. Okay, the B wave will take the A wave's origin, and then the C wave will take the A wave low. That's what we sort of have here, right? So we have the A, we have the B, that took out the high, and now we're looking for the wave. Which one? The wave C. However, we already know the substructures for this expanded flat. All right, and what are those expanded structures? What are the substructures? Let me go back over here. So we have 3 waves to the A, 3 waves to the B, and we got to have 5 waves down to the C. All right, 3, 3, 5 is a substructure for flat corrections. So the problem with this here, guys, is that we can dissect 3 waves here between the A and the B, but can we dissect 5 waves clearly without invalidating any substructure or any guidelines in the C? It's hard because the way we're looking at this, guys, and for that I'm going to zoom in here real quick. Okay, let me just zoom in here. So this is telling me, right, the way I'm looking at this is that clearly this is wave 1, 2, 3, consolidation into 4, and now we find rejection, find resistance, and then we head on lower. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to take out this low. But what is wrong with this count? You guys already see it, right? We are overlapping into the wave 1. This wave 4 overlaps this wave 1. That is the cardinal rule in Elliott wave that we cannot invalidate, cannot violate that rule. Okay, wave 4s cannot retrace beyond the territory of wave 1. There slightly, I mean, there are instances in different types of patterns that we'll go over and review in different types of videos when we come across them. But in this case, if we close above it, like we've had here, but if we just snip it and then just fall, we will look at the closing basis, and if it didn't go through, then it's, you know, what do I mean by closing basis? Actually, you know, not that I'm touching that line, that point. This will be the closing basis using the line chart. Okay, so in this example that I was just showing you guys, this was wave 1, 2, 3, 4. You see here, even on the closing basis, as I repeat, we are going above the wave 1. If let's say, for instance, this wave 4 would have fell short, but there was a wick on the candle that went beyond the origin or the end of wave 1, then that would be more of a confusing type of scenario, but it will be valid. Okay, however, because we close above it, it is unlikely. Now we can look at this in a different type of way. Okay, there's another way we can look at this, but I don't know if that's going to be valid anyway, because the other way that I'm looking at this is that this is the actual wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. No, my bad. That's not what I'm looking at. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, what am I talking about? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. My bad, guys. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It was a long day, guys. So do bear with me here. So the problem with this chart is that I am looking at this as a wave 2 versus this wave 4 correction. And what do you see over here? There's no guideline of alternation first. The guideline of the right look, I mean, it's not there either. This is a very long, prolonged wave 4 and larger than this wave 2. I mean, okay, granted, it could be larger than that, but in time and in magnitude, but it's just doesn't feel right. Okay, it doesn't feel right. So for that reason, I don't want to count the fact that that might be the case. I don't want to say that this is it. However, there's no way to know, right? Well, I mean, the only way to know is when we start breaking higher. And what's throwing a bit more of confusion into this mix is that this isn't even helping either, guys. Okay, this sort of move out of the January 25th low is not helping out. You know, one could make an argument that this is the wave 1 down in 2, 1, 2, and now we're in the third, or within the third, making a new high over here, 4, 5, to the wave 1, 2, 3, and so on. But this, I mean, this is just whack. This is just very confusing. I mean, can we look at this in a triangle form? I mean, yeah, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. Who knows? Only time will tell. And I know that as a person who follows and trades with and does his technical analysis with Elliott Wave, you know, I came across this here and it's just wacky, man. And when I see stuff like that, I tend to stay away from them and not even bother and just wait for the price action to really, or the pattern to really unfold, because you just don't break your neck with this. I mean, if you don't see a pattern, if you don't clearly see it, then don't bother with it. All right, don't bother with it. Don't try trading the zone here. Don't try to anticipate it if there's no clear structure. I mean, look, there is clear structures here, right? This is clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is A, B, and C potentially, right? Or maybe a bit of a confusion here, but this is clearly 3 waves. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. So this here is a bit of a confusion or a bit of a mixed bag and a mess. So to recap this pattern here, to recap, so we're still looking for it to potentially reject the zone that I've outlined here, okay, and then give us another leg lower into wave C. Now this zone could get us down towards the $25,000, 25,700 to be kind of not exact, but within this range here. Why is that? Because this wave B, the retracement of wave A and B, gave us a fib levels of 78 to 63, although we didn't go to the 78,000, but we were within that range, just slightly above the 100% extension. So if we do open up the 100% extension here, okay, yeah, this wouldn't technically be valid as an expanded flat, right? Because an expanded flat, as I just previously mentioned, right, wave B took out the wave A origin, and wave C should take out the low of wave A. That's an expanded flat. Okay. All right, guys. So that's that. I mean, can this be counted as a zigzag or any other type of flat correction? I mean, maybe. I'm not too sure. Let's take a look. Just looking here. I was looking at on the chart. Maybe a regular flat, but see, a regular flat would do something like this, guys, right? A regular flat won't take out the highs here and will just come towards near the low of wave A. But we've already taken out this wave, this high here, even on a closing basis. All right, we see that. So that's not valid. I don't think that's the pattern that we should be following. And the other one will be a running flat, which it could be the case, to be honest with you, because a running flat, let me delete this here and I'll show you what a running flat would look like. So a running flat would look something like this. You know, we have our A wave, our B wave that will come near the A wave, right? Somewhere here, and then the C wave will fall short of the A wave. So is that the case for this? I mean, do we see another leg lower before we actually, prior to taking out this low and then we go? Potentially. Or is this actually it, right? So this is A, B, and C, and then we go? Maybe that's the case. So as you can see here, corrections do tend to give you gray hairs and give you some sort of stress here. But all we can do is just try to maintain discipline and stay on the right side of the trade. Excuse me. Okay, so let's dive into our bearish count, and for that I'm gonna take you up to the weekly time frame. And look, I don't think this may be the case, but for argument's sake, because we do have to have different types of versions of this, let's take a look at the bearish count. So the bearish count is a zigzag, okay, in the weekly time frame. And what is a zigzag? 5 3 5. Okay, so 5 waves into the A, 3 waves into the B. Okay, let me do this. Let's do this together. So 1 2 3 4 and 5, 3 waves to the B, and 1 2 3 4 5 to the C. This is the one pattern that can fit a top in Bitcoin. Okay, in my opinion, at least, is the only pattern. Okay, because I mean, we clearly see the market trending higher. How can this be anything else but what we reviewed prior to this? The only thing that I can see, I mean, if you guys have any other illustrations or any other ideas, please let me know down in the comment section, because I would love to hear it. But for now, my interpretation is that this, right? So we got the B wave, 1 2 3 4 5 came short, or truncated rather, at the between the 50 and the 618 of wave 1, wave 4, and wave 2 to the 5. Okay, that's my interpretation. At which point, if this is the case, guys, I mean, we will know relatively soon if we start heading higher. Okay, so it's relatively soon, sooner than later, I should say. Otherwise, this is down in 1 2 3 4 5 to some sort of A wave again, 3 waves to the B, and then this thing will keep on going in 3 waves until it finds itself, until the market decides to do what it needs to do with it. But when we start trading in patterns like 3 3 3 3s, right, that's all you're going to see. I mean, we could see evidence of that, and let's take a look at Uber, right? For instance, Uber, you see evidence of just pattern trading. New issues usually do that, and in the weekly time frame, I mean, there is more history back here, but price is relatively low. Yeah, so for now, I mean, in this picture, right, we see 3 waves here. So A, B, and C, and then we're gonna do 1 2 3 4 5 to the A, another B wave, and then C wave down, guys. Okay, that's the only thing I see here. Otherwise, we're still gonna head trend up. Sorry, we're still gonna try to keep on trending higher. We can even draw a channel here. Okay, that's pretty impressive. So hiding this, and don't kill me, but I'm gonna show you this one. All right, this is the one that I worked in the background early today, and this bad boy is super bullish. I mean, I've seen people call Bitcoin to 500K. Why not, right? I mean, arbitrary numbers all the way up there. Why not? I could do the same. Please let me say that. But what I'm trying to say here is that how this compares to our other wave structures here is that, for instance, this one, we're calling the wave 1 is still where it's at. Okay, but here the difference is that wave 2, instead of it completing on December of 18, it completes on March of 20. Okay, so if I turn this on here, you can clearly see that, right? So if we actually do that, okay, then truth be told, that Bitcoin will head higher in the wave 3 coming in after this wave 2 completion, right? So 1 ABC 2 1 2 3 4 5 to the third, north of 1 million. I mean, come on, guys, is that really possible? 600K is 100% extension of wave 1 versus wave 2. All right, 1 ABC to 2, 1 to the third wave is at 500K. Come on, is that real? I mean, again, whatever, do with this information as you wish. Trade carefully, be careful. This is not a financial advice. I'm not trying to tell you go all in on this, but this is just my observation for entertainment only, I must say. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna leave it like that. I'll leave you this chart. If you guys want to see it more in detail, hop on over Trending Waves. I usually post more content in there, so look forward to seeing you. Okay, have a great weekend, and be on the lookout for another video covering the SPY and the markets over the weekend. Okay, guys, till now, take care. Peace out.